So, once again, it's been a while.
Stop right there.
Oh my god. Fucking Vegas doesn't allow me to play it faster than 4 times the usual speed. Well, point is, I go back 2 videos ago, and even then I kind of failed to make my point here, because this is how the gameplay from two videos ago look. And how it sounds. This round has a quite... nobody dared to counter-snipe me on that. It was just end of the line, everybody. It sounds strange, because I didn't have any actual copy of it in my computer, so I had to go onto YouTube and record it with a screen recorder, and that gave it this kind of weird playback. And either way, my point is that I shouldn't... 2 videos ago, I said that I wouldn't talk about how irregular I uploaded videos, how irregularly. So that's the thing, but it kind of failed now that everything is failed. Back to the gameplay. And we got black edges on the video. Great! And I have a cold. And I don't know what more to say. Yes. It's World of Tanks. Shame on me for starting to play such a fucking piece of shit game. And now I'm trying to drag you into it by making videos of it. I'm trying to make people interested. What am I doing? I mean, meanwhile, while I'm doing this boring video with this crappy game, Star's doing fucking Strike Vector, Hyperactive, like everything goes at 500 kilometers per hour. And let's see, what are we traveling? 35. May catch like 40 when we're going downhill here. Let's see, what do we manage to catch? Yeah, good, like 12th of what Star is traveling. So this is really high paced compared to Star's Strike Vector in his videos. What am I saying, Star? Stair. Yeah. So why World of Tanks? Why the fuck this shit game that puts like advertisement everywhere, spamming the shit out of YouTube and every site where you can possibly put spam, every Google page. I don't call it advertisement, I call it spam, because it's spam. Spam is spam. So why World of Tanks? Well, it's a surprisingly good game, and I've been stuck playing it for the last 8-9 months. Been playing it way too much, but it's a good game. When I play a game that is a first-person shooter, like Call of Duty games, I play them because I want to just utilize my reflexes and don't have to think so much when playing. When I'm playing World of Tanks, it's an all different story. This is strategy. Of course, there are game mechanics that are important to master if you want to be good. When facing people at both close and long ranges, there are several tactics and mechanics and techniques to master. And I haven't mastered them all, far from. But you can get very far with just knowing a bit of strategy. If you don't have strategy, and, well, if your team doesn't have any good strategy, if people don't think strategically, then things will generally go very bad. Because it's very simple. You have 15 tanks on each side, and you tend to... And you can guess what you're supposed to do. Kill the enemy tanks. But you also need to kind of spread out. You can't go all on one side of the map. Because then, well, of course you'll meet a few of the enemies there, but the rest of the enemies will just drive on the other flank and capture your base, and you will lose. You need to spread out evenly in order to be able to maintain a good support of all the tanks on all flanks and all areas of the map. If you don't do that, you will lose. It is quite common that even though you've got good players on your team, if the rest of your team doesn't play well, you will lose because you simply won't have enough tanks on other flanks. You will get overrun. The good players will get overrun. So, well, It's a game that forces you to play very strategically, and it kind of takes away. Sure, there are overpowered tanks, like I can talk some other video, but we can mention like the most notable when you start playing. The T-18 is an absolutely monstrous, overpowered tank, but still, if you play crap in tier 2 games, I'm not gonna sit with this pen. Last time I tried to do this recording, I sat like this all the time, and it could be heard in the background, so no more of that. But in spite of it being a very good tank, if you don't play strategically at all, you will probably lose the game because the enemies will capture the base. You need to consider to spread out, and you need to consider how you're supposed to play with the tank you have. Which role do you fill in? Yeah. Simply, you need to think. You don't just need to use your reflexes and your aim. You need to think when you play this game. If you don't think, you will fail. So, you've seen a lot of the game now. You're probably wondering about a lot of the stuff on the screen, but I don't feel like doing a tutorial on how things work. Because, well, I don't know, it's just like there are tutorials for that on World of Tanks page, and if you start playing the game you get tutorials. So I'm not gonna pull all the shit. I've said the most important: you win by either killing all enemy tanks or capturing the base, and then how you do that, all the mechanics, well, I'm not going to go through that. You shoot, you hope your shots go through the enemy armor. These are tanks, they have some armor, they're not like squish ragdolls in Modern Warfare 3 or Call of Duty games. These are tanks, they have armor. Even the most lightly armored, you would get quite a painful sore on your hand if you tried punching a tank. So yeah. So you shoot, you penetrate, you damage enemy tanks, you kill them, or you capture the base, and then there's a whole lot in between: spotting, and all the mechanics of your tank, camouflage, bushes. Hard to summarize the game. It's fairly complex and takes an eternity to learn the entire game. Every time it's pretty much impossible to master the game, because every time after the game, if you look back at the replay like I'm doing now, I realize I could have done things differently. This is by no means an impressive game, because this is a stomper game. The enemy team is bad. I have a mod to the game called XVM where I can see the stats of enemy tanks, simply expressed in colors. And as you can see, the entire enemy team except for 2 people are red, which is the worst rating. It doesn't have to mean they're absolute crap. There are different tones of red. There aren't different tones of red, but you can have 30 rating and be red, and you can have 400 rating and be red. And obviously, there's a quality difference in the players. But mostly the people on the enemy team were bad. The T-40 that I killed earlier, the tank destroyer on the ledge, I didn't actually kill him, but I got hurt twice by him. He was orange, and he was a decent player, you can notice. This BDRG one is not. He stands with his side exposed, tries to get through KB1 in the front with a shitty stock gun. I can see it's a stock gun because it's got less HP, meaning he has mounted the first turret, and thus he cannot equip any other gun than a pretty shitty one with 90 or 100 penetration. So I wasn't too afraid of him, didn't need to angle myself very much. I had my side exposed, and my side is effectively 95mm thick, so didn't have to worry about that. And it's me and the flak bus, the 2 only yellow players in the game, and the 2 only good people in my team. We are the only ones surviving. We have 4 kills each. We've carried this game, and the KB1 I'm shooting at now, he's incapable of pulling his gun up enough to shoot me, so he just waits a little while. Now he tries to turn towards me, but he's dead as shit. And I'm alone. I was alone against 3 enemies there, but now it's only 2 left. So there's, as you can notice, there's a lot to commentate of, and now it's completely calm. There might be enemies in front of me, but they are obviously not within my spotting range. The birch gun hits me, the enemy artillery hits me in the gun, and I don't want a damaged gun, so I use a small repair kit to repair it. The KV-1 and the Birch gun remaining, they are both seem to be fair placed. They've gotten 3 kills each. But when I spot the KV-1 right about soon, I hope. I don't exactly know the times for tanks popping up, but he's about to pop up, and I cannot quite explain why he plays as he does. I think like the only the only explanation I can have is, well, let's wait a few more seconds and see if he pops up. I know it's gonna pop up now that I'm right. Yes, he doesn't return fire. I shoot, he looks at me, but he keeps driving, and I can just fire. I know the Birch gun is aiming for me. If it was a big arty with a big gun, I would have had to move, but the Birch gun is a little puny arty with high rate of fire but minuscule alpha damage, meaning that it's not particularly optimal to fire against heavily armored heavy tanks. Then especially our 1 tier above. Now I've sitting here for 10 minutes, screen went black, there we go. And now I'm going down for the cap, only me and the Birch gun left. If I'm gonna try and find him, he might hide and the time might run out and it might be a draw. So I'm gonna capture the base and hope that he comes and try to interrupt. And as you can see, I've got 6 kills now. With the Birch gun it's gonna be a 7th, and I'm wishing that I got 1 more kill. I could have gotten 1 earlier, but I chose to just shoot quickly. Because if I get 8 kills, I get a certain medal. It's not worth anything, it's just nice to have, a little thing to brag about. But no, I won't get that. Talk a little to the Birch gun guy with humor, and sit here and simply wait. Typically, when you capture a base against sole enemy artillery, you want to go to places where you don't expect you to be, and he's gonna try to blind fire at you without knowing where you are. But now I know Birch guns fire at a pretty flat art, and I have a rock right here to hide behind, so I think it's a better way to go, as I also know the general direction in which he is. So this game is about to end. If you thought it was boring, I'm thinking I'm gonna do some more. I've got a lot of replays saved up, as I've got a lot of other shit saved up on the computer. But replays at least don't take that much place on the computer unless you actually record them. Then they start taking place. But you can have them in a strange kind of format, and that works just fine. We're gonna see something here. It's kind of interesting, I think. There we go. Tree flipped. Even though you can't see enemy tanks, you can always see when trees flip, and seeing that tree flip, I know he has driven over it. Kind of clumsy move, but he knows he doesn't have much of a chance. I shoot him once, and now I decide I want to ram him to death. But yeah, I kind of think about, no, I'm gonna ram him. I'm gonna drive into him at my top impressive 20 kilometers per hour, and he dodges it. Too slow to turn because my tracks are damaged, so I decide to finish him off with a regular shot. And yeah, I'm gonna upload some scout gameplays in the future, if I make any videos at all soon. I hope I do. End of that replay. Hope you enjoyed. This has been Contemember. New video. Adios.